Welcome back to Mission Matters Live. I am Megan Mio, Director of the Global Mission Office in the Archdiocese of Chicago. And I'm here with Sir Von Ryan Torio, a lay leader, Father Jovino Batecan, priest lead, and Sister Revelina Santiago, coordinator for the Commission on Basic Ecclesial Communities in the Archdiocese of Lingayen-Dagupan in the Philippines. We're continuing our conversation about basic ecclesial communities, and we're very happy to have the three of you here with us, zooming in from the Philippines. So we're getting real-time stories about how this works and the impact that it has. And I know all three of you have been working in this area, some longer than others. But I am thinking that our listeners may not be familiar with what BEC's basic ecclesial communities might be. So I wonder if we could talk in a little bit more detail. In our last segment, we learned about the impact, some of the impact that it has had, that it has really helped to build up the active participation, the communion, the sense of personal ownership of one's faith, to be a witness to the faith. But let's talk about exactly how that comes about. So maybe somebody could provide a general explanation of what a BEC is and how it works. And I know Father Batecan has been doing this a long time, so please tell us about some of the basics.
The Church as People of God, to start BEC in one parish, you have to change the paradigm shift their thinking, their knowledge. Yeah, paradigm shifting. Because I know in the parishes, they have the traditional understanding of the church, not the new one.
Yeah.
The traditional understanding of the church in the old one is the church is purely building. But in the new one, the church is both building and people of God combined together.
Yeah.
And wherever people gathers, even in the grassroots, that is a small church already. Basic means the church as parish starts from one family and it continues with the next family in the neighborhood. Then another family, and then they form a cluster. And then after another cluster, in my experience, one cluster composed 5, 10, 15, 20 families in the neighborhood.
Okay.
But even the other religions are included, because when it comes to helping one another, there is no religion. Right. As long as he is their neighbor. Love is embracing. It embraces all, not selective. But when it comes to religion, faith, we respect the other religion.
Yeah.
Okay, so matters of community development, they're involved together.
So people are meeting on a regular basis, they're reflecting on scripture, they're talking, they're socializing. How does it work?
Not that.
Okay.
Not that. In fact, in our religious devotions, they include the other religions in their prayers.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then when there are wake services, the Catholics also go there to give help. Okay. That's why one of the impact here is the other religions do not go there anymore because they love the Iglesia ni Cristo, the other religion very much. Go to the other barangay who are anti-Iglesia or anti-Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah. So this one impact. The real BEC is really to involve everybody there in the community. So what we do is we divide the one barangay into different puruks. Different puruks are divided again to clusters, and clusters are divided into 5 neighborhoods. We call them units, the smallest. That's the basic. What's the importance of the smallest? They know immediately the need. There is one focal person for the male, for the female adult, for the youth male, for the youth female, and for the children, grade 6, grade 5, male and female. So we can easily monitor the need because there are only few. We have the perpetual every Wednesday. After having the devotion here, the perpetual is not the traditional one, but it's a Bible service type with guide questions for their vision, mission, goal setting before the petitions. And then these 5 families goes to the another 5 next Wednesday, Then these 10 families go to the other families next Wednesday, and then 20th families. And then on the 20th, the priests go there to celebrate Mass. And then presenting their vision, tabulated already. We in this Purok envision, because of the situation we saw here, we envision that, because sometimes the vision of the top does not,
It's not relevant.
in the diocese, who are only involved are the middle class on the top, but the grassroots are not involved. And sometimes the term are foreign to them. The simple fisherman does not know ectos and the farmers, because they have different languages, as Christ was preaching before. This is the weakness of the church. There is a gap between in the research conducted last 1990, PCP2, there is a gap between the few and the many. It's a gap between ritual and life. We just celebrate ritual, but not the life of people. Like the rosaries, they pray the rosary, but they do not understand the rosary. So what we will do in the future is they understand the mystery piece by piece. For instance, okay, let's dissect the mystery of the rosaries piece by piece. For this week, we reflect on the joyful mystery. Then after reflecting what God is saying to us as situated in this context, in this barangay or purok, what can we do to apply this mystery?
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes Bible sharing are very personalized. There is no impact in the community involvement. That's why this group will die. They will be fed up doing similar thing. But in the application of the new thing, they will not get bored, because plants are, they vary according to the mystery. For instance, visitation. Who are we to visit? How do we apply visitation? And then what will we announce as good news? Annunciation.
Yeah.
And then birth. Who are these people not yet baptized in this community? Or the pregnant mothers, the newly born babies, what can we do to help them? It's like applying the mystery, because the mystery is also our own mystery in life. So we have to combine the ritual and the celebration of life.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You're making your faith come to life for people, to have it really speak to their life experiences, applying it to understand it more deeply, but to really also like act upon it as well through the coming together of these communities, it sounds like.
The other problem is the church is ruled by a few, only few. Almost the same cases everywhere.
Yeah.
The grassroots are not involved. That's why in the division, in the clusters, there is an inventory of their skills, talents, even the students, their subjects, where are they involved? How can we, sometimes the problem with church is we have the right people but the wrong work. Sometimes we have the right work for the wrong people. Sometimes we have the right people, right work, wrong way of working. They cannot work as a team.
Right.
We have the different ministries in the parish, but they do not talk.
Right. It's all those pieces. Yeah, and so I would imagine, right, you're calling forth gifts. You need the collaboration of the clergy and lay leaders at the parish and the community itself. Everybody kind of doing their part as well. I wonder if, Sister Revi, you could tell us a little more about the archdiocesan structure and all the different parts and how they work together. Kind of, you got the local unit that you just described, Father Jovino, but then how does it work in the larger sense? Sister Revi.
The traditional is we have the selected people, the parish pastoral council coming from the different barangays and the mandated religious organizations representatives. Then they elect one person as their coordinator. And then we have the ministries downstairs, and then we have the lower network in the barangay level.
Okay.
But the problem is the people are always the same representing the structure. there is no involvement of the people below.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is needed now is in the new structure, the leaders are emerging from the people below.
Yeah.
Like
Communities
in the
themselves.
five people, in the five people, there are focal persons in the unit one, another focal person, unit two, unit three, unit four, unit five. So we have uh, two children, two youth, one adult male and one adult female. So we have already four, and then 20
Yeah.
in
It
one,
grows.
yeah, four clusters, 20.
Okay.
Then another group, something like that. The overall focal person will select overall in the barangay level.
Sure. Right.
And the three barangays are again structured into area. And then the three barangay court will select overall in the area, going up. So that the representation goes down everywhere.
Right. So that there is a
There are
communication
things
system.
when there are things to discuss, the people below also discusses the problems, what the church needs to discuss.
Yeah.
Then we ask them, oh, so in the monthly meeting, what was your discussions result?
Sure.
In our barangay, this is what came out in our so the planning are coming down, going up.
Sure. Okay.
So
So
it's church is now a volcanic theology.
okay. Oh, I see. It comes up from the bottom and then it bursts forth from the top like a volcano.
Yeah,
Good metaphor.
if there are only few,
I can
they're
see.
already hard up. They're already few. They get sick, they get old. Who comes next?
You're right.
They did not prepare for the next generation,
Sure.
the sustainability. So what happens now are the few go down. They go down
Yeah.
and try to
And
get
then it comes back.
the masterpiece.
Interesting.
But you can see the massive involvement of the community already.
Yeah.
Even in the liturgy, in the Holy Mass, in the Barangay Mass.
Yeah.
If we have Barangay Mass, if they are divided by clusters, which person is sponsored by cluster one, they provide everything. Reading, singing, collecting,
Sure.
sacristan, all collect this preparing for the decoration of the altar. Next week, cluster two. But cluster one evaluates cluster two in the liturgy.
Okay.
What is good, what's bad,
Yeah.
what to improve during our time or our turn. See, they keep on improving each other, not competing. It's a healthy competition.
Right. Of
One
course.
technology is
the church.
improved by another technology, until the perfect whole. But they're all involved.
Okay. All right. Well,
Next Sunday is cluster three, cluster four. They're all involved.
everybody
Different
has a role.
phases,
Yeah.
and then the ministers also. Not what happened in the parishes. You have the same phases for how many years?
Sure.
That's not process. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Even simple tricycle drivers can also have their own ranks in distributing. But they are most of the ministers coming from the middle and the top.
Yeah.
Very,
Right.
very few below.
But everybody has to have a part to play. I know. I mean, like you said, that those
Yeah,
the
because we are all baptized. As baptized Christians, they should exercise the baptism in
Yes.
teaching, sanctifying, and serving.
Yes, and that this is authentic. That as you go from these clusters to the parish to the next level, that you're not losing something along the way. That it really is true. This is going to be helpful to the people at the ground level, in the families, in the households. That these are the needs, these are the challenges that the church, all of the people of God, need to be engaged in and acting on and speaking about. So that makes perfect sense. I'm sure that's not easy to maintain. I know, Sister Revi, you're in an archdiocesan role as coordinator. So I wonder if you could just say a little bit about how you kind of keep that going, how you keep these different clusters and parishes connected to one another at the archdiocesan level. Could you say something about coordinating these BECs?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Um, so in the archdiocesan level, we have really uh, the one that Father Batecan has been explaining. It's really like the ideal one. So we are in that process, but of course, in reality, we have the archdiocese has already started um, BECs for a long time, and
Yeah.
they have already chosen their parish coordinators. Each parish has their parish BEC coordinator, and then they have leaders in different, the one that Father said, clusters. They have also leaders in their clusters. And then, because the archdiocese is divided into 9 vicariates, so they have also vicariate coordinators, BEC coordinators. And we also have vicariate BEC directors who are priests.
Oh,
So I am working with a director, our archdiocesan BEC coordinator. And so the two of us with the BEC coordinators, we are like a core team. And we are the ones talking together, planning together for the development of our people. And for the Paris BEC coordinators, we have a monthly ongoing formation and meeting. We meet them regularly. Yeah.
so that helps people communicating with one another, talking through questions that have come up, challenges you might be facing. Because I would imagine if you're really talking to people on the ground, I don't know how diverse the Archdiocese of Lingayen-Dagupan is, but that probably others are facing the same things that any one community is experiencing, right? Similar questions and things. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, now you said that the Archdiocese has been doing this for some time. I believe in some of the materials you sent me since the early 90s. There was a movement in the Philippines altogether. The bishops came together and did some thinking and writing about this. But I would imagine that from time to time new BECs are formed as communities grow or change, shift, whatever the case. So I wonder what that process is like. And Father Batecan, maybe you could say a little bit about how do you identify what a new BEC might be, and then what's that process for them being formed in the first place?
As I've said, I only found out when I was assigned in Dagupan. It's good to, in organizing BEC, it's good to pilot one barangay first, just one. And then in the barangay, again, it's good to pilot one purok. It's like in a garden, they are divided by plots.
Yeah.
You're only one.
Yeah.
So what I have to do is develop this one plot first. Then next time, the second plot, oh, what a nice garden. How did you do this? So they are, excited to see what happened. So the interest comes from them. We don't impose the interest by going down, giving seminar immediately without knowing the situation, because you have to know the enemy first. You have to know we have 3 processes. Like when we start this in one place, we have to know the inputs there. What are there in terms of manpower, human material resources, what ideas already brought there ahead of time for the personals, and you have to identify, and then the output at certain time frame. What is our output here? If there are only because Sister Rabbi said there are lots of mass goers, but how do we get the percentage of the mass goers in terms of the whole population? So we cannot say there are more attendance. There are more attendance if in the clusters and the units, before attending mass, they already identify who are attending mass or not attending. Why are you not attending? And then are you sending a representative to represent you in the mass? Because this what the other religions are doing. When one is absent, they go to the person absent, visiting that person, hearing what happened.
Yeah.
But in the Catholics, no. I just attend mass myself. I don't care whether you attend or not,
Yeah.
especially in our neighborhood. And sometimes there are people attached to the center, but they do not know people within the vicinity. So what's important now is go back to the roots, neighborliness. Know your neighbor, not
Yeah.
thy neighbor. But how can you love your neighbor if you do not even know who they are? You do not even know their birthdays, their anniversaries.
Yes.
You only know people upstairs,
Right.
your own circle. You have been there for how many years? And you do not grow. Because it's like this forming a pyramid. But when there is typhoon, this can easily collapse.
Yeah.
So what the challenge now is to let these people go down to your roots. You know, there is one charismatic leader here. When I introduced BEC, she knows the importance of neighborhood. So he balances his hour with the charismatic, the parish, but he also is he's active also in the community at the same time. He knows his neighbors. So he said, when something happens to you, the immediate people you can call are the neighbors, not your co-charismatics in different places,
Right.
but your neighbors themselves.
Yeah.
So maintain the neighborliness.
Yeah, it sounds very organic. It sounds very, just like everything else you've been describing. It comes from the people, it comes from the community. And from what you're describing too about knowing your neighbors, this is really what it means to be a missionary. You know, we're not here to force anything on anybody or to talk people into believing in Jesus. We're here to be neighbors to one another, to come to know one another, be friends, and then from there, the love of Christ can grow.
That is our first step, to befriend.
Yeah.
Befriending them first.
Right, right. And then you can have those deeper conversations. But you have to have that relationship to begin with, and then to grow from that in developing a community. Well, if you can believe it, it's time for another pause. We're going to break here, but we're going to have one more conversation to talk a little bit more about basic ecclesial communities and the impact that this can have on a community, this reverberation of that volcanic movement that we've been talking about here. So stay tuned and we'll continue our conversation about BECs in the Philippines.